Hey, what's up guys? Matt here with Fix Anything Save Money. Today we are going to be walking you through how to replace the carburetor on this Troy-Bilt TB22EC trimmer, weed whacker, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to be walking you through the steps on how to replace this to make it as, painless as possible for you. And we're going to be answering any questions in the comment section. So if you do have questions, be sure to reach out in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So we're going to be replacing this with a carburetor kit made by a company called Hypa. And they have a website called hypastore.com that you could, go on to. I'll put a link in the comments and in the description that'll take you to their website. But I'll also put a link that will take you directly to this carburetor kit along with all the tools that you see here. So you could just click on all those links, pick up what you need. And I do earn a commission on those links. They are affiliate links. So that money does go towards the channel, goes towards creating more content for you guys. So be sure to check those links out. And in this carburetor kit, you can see they make it very nice and pain-free. You get your new carburetor with your new priming bulb. You get a new air filter, a new fuel filter if you're going to be changing out the fuel filter. You get the new gasket. They actually give you two. I think on this one we only need one. And then they also give you a fuel line. If your fuel lines are dry rotted or cracked or whatever, you could cut these to fit. And we'll show you kind of what that looks like. So we'll walk you through this process step by step. So if your trimmer isn't running correctly, if it's not running like the day that you bought it, it's probably time to either clean the carburetor or just straight up replace it. So we're going to be showing you that replacement and we'll just dive right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this cover. So if you look, you could see this little tab right here. You could either press that in with a screwdriver. I like to just use my fingers and just kind of press in on the tab while I'm pulling this housing out, and it comes off pretty easily. So we'll just push in and pull. Okay. And then it just opens up and you can see how it works. There's these little hinges right here. And then those hinges you would just put in just like that. It kind of just clicks in when you go to put it back on. And then you could see here that exposes our air filter. So we could just take that out. And you could either, wash this with soap and water and put it on a windowsill to dry, or, you could just replace it with the new one that Hypa gives you. So we're just going to go ahead and replace it with the new one. Okay, so there's what that looks like. Our new filter in. And then what that does, after we have the cover off, it exposes these two bolts. And to remove those, we're going to be using this little ratchet set with this star bit. And sometimes when you remove these bolts, this little black piece, it might be stuck on, but this black piece is probably going to come right off and the gasket might fall off behind it. So just beware of that, but I'll be showing you how it goes back on. Okay, so there's our one bolt. Two bolts. And then you can see this cover is just going to come right off. And our, carburetor is just going to start to dangle. Okay, and this is a good time to clean up all these pieces with, a wet rag or whatever, an air hose if you have one. Okay, so now we could go ahead and remove this throttle cable. And to do that, we're just going to kind of pick up on it and just lift it straight up. And you can see that little hook on it right there. So when we go to put it back in, we're just going to put that hook in just like that. Okay. So now you can see the only thing keeping this carburetor on is the fuel lines. So what we're going to do is just take note that the green fuel line is going to go into the front of this carburetor, and then this black fuel line is attached inside the tank to the actual fuel filter. So we'll remove that, and then we'll open the cap and just kind of show you guys that. So to remove these lines, I like to just break this little seal with a tiny little flathead. And then once you kind of get it off a little bit, you could usually pry it off. You can see they both came off right there pretty easily. Okay, and then you can see our gasket has just kind of been melted on there. So we're going to be putting a new one on anyway. And now we'll show you this fuel filter. So if you look in here, you could see the fuel filter sitting in there. So a good way to get this out is to just kind of take a coat hanger and just bend it and just grab it by that black fuel line, or you can even get it with your finger and just kind of pull it out. Okay, so there's the old fuel filter. And then you could just take your new one that HYPA provides, and you could just do the same thing, kind of break the seal. And then just put your new one on. Okay, and then you could just tuck that back in there, like so. Okay, so we'll just put our cap back on. And then you can see there's a little tiny seal right here, this little yellow seal. You just want to make sure that's seated clean. You could hit that with some carburetor cleaner if you want to, but ours is pretty clean, so we're just going to leave it go. Okay. And then we are going to take our new carburetor, and we're just going to hook it back up the way we took it off. So this our yellow fuel line is going to go into the front. And just make sure that the fuel line is pushed all the way up against the carburetor, and then our black line is going to go to the back. Like so. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Probably the best thing to do is to get the air box, kind of put the filter in place like that, get your bolts through, make sure they're through the cover and the gasket, like that. And then we could put it through the carburetor, and then straight into here, like so. And then we'll go ahead and tighten those bolts down. And then the last thing we have to do before we put the cover back on is hook our throttle cable back up. So to do that, you could just push this little lever forward to give you some room to play, and then just bend this down into the hole. There you go. And then just always kind of squeeze the trigger, make sure it's functioning properly. Yep, so we're good there. And then all we have to do now is just put this cover back into place just by clicking these little hinges into these holes right here, like that. Then we'll just close our cover, click it. Okay. And then these are nice because it shows the starting sequence right on it. So you could start it. These carburetors don't need to be tuned, they're factory tuned. So they should be good to go. But if you do need to tune it, I do have videos up on how to tune a carburetor, how to adjust the high and low ends, and then also how to adjust the idle speed. So be sure to check that video out. That's on my channel as well. And yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions on this. I will be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, be sure to check out the links on where you can pick up this carburetor kit along with the tools that I used in this video. Those are affiliate links. I do earn a commission, and that money does go right back into the channel, like I said. So yeah, guys, be sure to reach out with any questions. If this video helped you out, be sure to give it a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out all my other tool and DIY videos. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.